Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to today's Burn Fire video. We're going to have a look at the weather for 10 to 14 days for today's final video. Day 10 will take us to the 9th of January, and we'll be able to extend out beyond that with the extended GFS and ECM ensembles. They run around a couple of weeks. We'll have a look at CFS-V2 at the end of the video for the next 4 weeks, and that would get us more or less to the end of January. Of course, we're going to bring you update with everything stratosphere-wise as well in the first part of the video, so I shall get on with that for you in a moment. This is the final video of 2022. It's New Year's Eve. We've got a few hours left, 2022, and then it is gone, and I'll be glad to see you back this year, I can tell you that. But got this one video still left to do before we start winding down to the new year. So I should get on that for you in a moment. Just say that the first video today was our 6 AM upload, and we've also released a weekend forecast as well, so please check out those two videos if you'd like to do that. Like, share, subscribe on the videos. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. Now, before we go on, I just want to point out this GoFundMe page. So one of our long-standing viewers and supporters and subscribers, Lee Dennis, lost his son Harry Dennis, on the 17th of December after a car accident, and Harry, could not survive his injuries, and unfortunately Harry passed away on the 17th of December. And so Lee and Maria and Jess have had the most a terrible time through this Christmas. But the grief and loss that they've been going through is absolutely unimaginable. And of course, our love, our prayers, our thoughts, our best wishes, from me and the entire GavsWeatherVids community, extend out to Harry's family, to Lee, to Marie, and also to Jess as well. And we take you into our hearts, and we are sending you all of the love that we possibly can. And I know we can't take away your pain and your grief and your loss, if only we could. But please know, that we are, as a community, very much sending out our love to you at this really, really horrible time that you are all going through. Now, Harry's family are raising some money in his memory. So they're raising money for the air ambulance who treated Harry at the scene of the accident and got him to hospital as quickly as they could. And also to Harry's local football club as well. And Harry's local football club, let's have a quick look at that, is Hastings Athletic. So this is Harry's GoFundMe page, where they are raising a very, very substantial amount of money. Absolutely incredible. And again, that just goes to show the love that everybody has for Harry, and also for Harry's amazing family. So if you could check out Harry's GoFundMe page, the link is, I've shared the link on our social media accounts, and the link is in the description with this video. If you could check out Harry's GoFundMe page and possibly give a donation in Harry's memory, if you can afford to, then that would be absolutely fantastic. I know it'd be highly appreciated by Harry's family, after this very, very difficult time. So thanks everybody for doing that, and again to Lee, to Maria, and also to Jess, our love, our best wishes, our prayers, our thoughts go out to all of you as a community within GavsWeatherVids, and we're all thinking of you at this very, very sad time. And rest in peace, Harry, and travel well, my friend. Right, okay, let's start the video then, and we're going to begin by having a look at the stratosphere. So this is the GFS temperature forecast at 10 HPA over the North Pole. The blue colours and the purple colours are where we've got those cold temperatures at 10 HPA in the stratosphere, minus 80 to minus 84 degrees. We established yesterday that we have got a very cold stratospheric temperature now, colder than average at 10 HPA. Are we going to get a stratospheric warming? Are we going to get a sudden stratospheric warming? Let's see what the midnight GFS run does. So into the new year, those cold blue and purple colours continue. However, by the 5th, 6th of January, we're already getting our first slight modest warming here over Siberia. And as we go into the extended range, the GFS midnight run intensifies that. Dramatically so, around the 12th, 13th of January, start reaching southern stratospheric temperature warming levels. And then look at this warming that the GFS midnight run produces. Very dramatic warming. That is a major southern stratospheric warming that is going on there over Siberia, and showing every sign it's about to start penetrating into the North Pole, where it is displacing already these cold temperatures, the blue colours, excuse me, over towards the Canadian and Greenland side of the Arctic. I don't think we have to go on many more days, excuse me, again, don't think we have to go on many more days before we infiltrated those orange and red colours right in over the top of the pole. And that is very dramatic development on that GFS midnight run. Very, very dramatic warming indeed. Now, there has been another GFS run since then. This is the GFS6Z. And again, we see that we've got these blue and purple colours here over the top of the Arctic and over the top of the North Pole. Those are the cold temperatures at 10 HPA. That continues through the next few days. We do get a slight warming over Siberia later next week, and that slight warming intensifies then. Again, on the GFS6Z, another dramatic warming of the stratosphere occurring here, every bit as strong as on the midnight run, reaching those bright red colours, which tells us we are reaching 0 degrees or above, actually, at 10 HPA. And that perhaps penetrating into the Arctic and into the North Pole a little bit more, actually, by the 16th of January compared to the midnight run. So that's how midnight run looks on the 16th of January. That's how the 6Z is looking. Again, let's go back to that. Midnight run, 16th of January. That is the 6Z. And I think that warming is penetrating even more into the North Pole then. These are very dramatic developments. It looks as though the GFS operationals, anyway, excuse me once more, are very set on this warming of the stratosphere, dramatic warming over Siberia, and increasing signs that this could well start penetrating into the North Pole itself. Of course, there's a few more steps we've got to go through. We've got to split the polar vortex, got to reverse the zone of winds, but very encouraging signs here for anybody who is looking for or waiting for the southern stratospheric warming. Let's go through the GFS ensemble members, starting with the control run. That is also producing a very significant warming of the stratosphere over Siberia by the middle of January. Ensemble member number 1, looking like that again, producing quite a dramatic warming over Siberia at 10 HPA. That is ensemble member number 2, also lifting the temperature right up there over Siberia. Ensemble member number 3, also going for a pretty dramatic warming. Ensemble member number 4 looks like that. Very dramatic developments with that ensemble member, and penetrating that warming into the North Pole as well. Ensemble member number 5 looks like that. Maybe a little bit less aggressive with the warming with ensemble member number 5, but going in the same direction really. Ensemble member number 6 looks like that. Again, perhaps a little bit less aggressive with the warming with that ensemble member. Ensemble member number 7. They'll just about get there around the 11th of January, but that was perhaps a little bit less aggressive as well. Ensemble member number 8, what's that one going to do? That's producing quite a dramatic warming of the stratosphere over Siberia. Ensemble member number 9 looks like that. Again, quite a dramatic warming going on with that one. Ensemble member number 10 looks like that. A little bit less aggressive with that one. Ensemble member number 11. Again, very dramatic warming of the stratosphere there. Middle of January, showing every side moving into the pole as well. Ensemble member number 12. Again, that's going for it. Also, ensemble member number 13. Big warming going on with that ensemble member. Ensemble member number 14. Looks like that. Perhaps slightly less aggressive with that ensemble member, but, you know, that's really going for it as well. Ensemble member number 15, excuse me. Looks like that. Again, pretty significant warming with that one. Ensemble member number 16. Again, quite a dramatic warming going on with that one over Siberia. Ensemble member number 17. Very aggressive warming there around the middle of January. Ensemble member number 18. Looks like that, and again, that one perhaps a little bit less aggressive, but more or less going in the same direction. Ensemble member number 19 looks like that, looking quite significant with the warming on that one. Ensemble member number 20 going for it big time and moving that warming towards the North Pole as well. Number 21 looks like that. No, a little bit less aggressive with that one. Ensemble member number 22. Again, looking quite significant with the warming. Ensemble member number 23, but slightly less aggressive with that one. But almost of a muchness, really, with most of these ensemble members. Ensemble member number 24, again, very significant warming going on over Siberia with that one. Ensemble member number 25, also going for it. Ensemble member number 26, slightly less aggressive with that one. Ensemble member number 27, going for it, quite significantly so. Ensemble member number 28, looks like that. Again, that one's going for it also. Ensemble member number 29, looks like that. Again, pretty aggressive with the warming there by the middle of January. And ensemble member number 30, lastly, that's slightly less aggressive with that one, but still, even that one's going for it more towards the Pacific side of the Arctic. It looks like the second week of January is going to yield a sudden stratospheric warming, certainly in terms of the temperature spiking up over Siberia. We will have to wait and see how much this penetrates into the North Pole, whether it's able to reverse the zone of winds, you know, etc., etc., etc. But it does look like a very, very significant warming of the stratosphere is on the way over Siberia. The GFS operations and all ensemble members are going for significant warming of the stratosphere at 10 HPA over Siberia. Differing, you know, on exactly how strong this warming gets, how much it penetrates into the North Pole by middle of January, but they're all going in more or less the same direction. So, as I've been saying in the video, this is going to be the big story, you know, as we go into early January. This will be the pivotal event that we've got to keep a very close eye on as we move through into the early part of January, and we will be keeping you updated about it through the new year, of course, at GavsWeatherVids. Right, central temperature is continuing to rise. We're currently sitting at 3.2, which is 1.3 degrees below average. That's provisional to yesterday, to the 30th of December. So I think that's probably going to finish up at around 3.4. Maybe 3.5, something like that. So we will find out tomorrow, hopefully, when we do the New Year's Day roundup. We'll find out tomorrow exactly where that has come in. Of course, we will have the overall yearly CT as well for 2022. 2022 will be the warmest year within the CT record. It's going to beat 2014, and we will find out, hopefully, tomorrow exactly where that lands. These are the GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles for this New Year's Eve. For the next couple of weeks, the red line is the 30-year upper air temperature average from Northampton today. Starting off above average at the moment, we're going to go a little bit cooler early next week, then it goes pretty mild again by the end of next week, then cooler, very much a zonal sort of sine wave going on here with warmer and cooler sectors alternating. However, as we get further on through the second week of January and up to the middle part of the month, there are signs that we might be going a little bit colder than average then. So through the second week of January into the middle of the month, we might be seeing a bit of hint of a cool down here. We have got some quite cold ensemble members at the moment. They're outliers, but the white line, which is the ensemble being that, is dipping underneath the 30-year average. So perhaps the GFS ensembles are shifting towards a colder outlook by the middle of January. Precipitation-wise, looks quite unsettled as well. Plenty of rain to come today on this New Year's Eve. A couple of drier days then. And as we go further on into next week, it turns increasingly unsettled. And those wet conditions last right way up to the middle part of the month. As far as sea level pressure is concerned, so we are going to get some higher pressure. Excuse me once more. We are going to get some higher pressure through next week. But then it's the second week of January, the pressure is lowering, so it may be turning cold and more unsettled there. And as far as snow row is concerned, maybe some increasing hints of snow here through the second week of January. So nothing doing through the first week of January, but second week of January we have got some snow spikes. So maybe I'll get a few flakes here at the towers before the middle of the month. Wouldn't that be something? Temperature anomalies from the 31st of December to the 8th of January going to be milder than average for Ireland, Wales and England, a little bit colder than average still for Scotland. Precipitation anomalies from the 31st of December to the 8th of January, wetter than average in northern and western area, drier than average in southern and eastern regions. Latest wind by map from earth.nullschool.net shows that we are bringing southwesterly winds today, so low pressure is still in control of the weather, sitting over the western country on the southern side of the low, dragging up a very mild southerly southwesterly. On the northern side of the low, pulling in some colder air from the north, and these very mild winds are extending into much of Europe as well, so it's going to be a very, very mild new year for large parts of Europe, with temperatures into the mid to, in some places, even upper teens Celsius, but just on the periphery of that. Though it's not actually going to be quite as mild, I don't think, this new year as it was last new year. For us, last new year was the record breaker. I don't think we're going to be breaking records for this new year, but it is going to be a very, very mild new year down south. Further north, it will be colder. Right, let's start going through the chart data then. This is the latest UK Met Euro run. It's looking midnight on Tuesday, so you're going to get a little transient ridge early next week, but already as early as midnight on Tuesday, that transient ridge is being flattened off by the jet stream and the next area of low pressure. That takes us into wet and windy spell through the middle part of next week. And then into the end of next week and next weekend, the low pressures just keep coming, so more unsettled wet and windy weather by next weekend. Icon again has that little transient ridge there Monday into Tuesday, but it's gone by the time we get through Tuesday to Wednesday, with turn wet, windy and also very mild. And then through the middle to second half of next week, just looks increasingly unsettled, really deep low pressure coming in off the Atlantic. That will bring bouts of rain across the country. It's starting to turn a little bit colder as well. With those strong westerly winds turning more northwesterly, we will start to drag in the air a little bit towards Greenland and Iceland. The GFS midnight run once more flatten off that ridge on Tuesday. Low pressure in from the Atlantic turning wet and windy. Then through the middle part of next week, a little bit of a transient ridge building up from the southwest again. That doesn't last long. The next low coming off the Atlantic being wet and windy weather through next weekend. Then an increasingly unsettled and colder look to things as we go towards day 10. This is day 10, which is actually the 10th of January. I think I said the 9th of January, it's 10th of January, day 10. And looking increasingly not only wet, windy, but also quite cold, with winds coming in from a northwesterly direction. And those winds actually turn northerly then as we go beyond day 10. This is the 11th of January, pulling in colder northerly winds, probably bringing snow showers into northern parts of the country before the next low rolls in, bringing further wet, windy weather, probably snow to the north. And as that one clears way to the east, again, that starts to pull in colder air from the north once more by the middle of January. That's how we end up with the GFS midnight run under a ridge of high pressure. Next low is waiting in the wings in the Atlantic. This is a precipitation forecast based on that GFS midnight run from the weather outlook. Plenty of rain with these mild temperatures today. Down south will be a little snow, a little bit of snow further north. Tomorrow could bring a bit of a snow event to parts of Scotland. Central southern Scotland may get a snow event for New Year's Day. Meanwhile, further south, showers continue. And then into next week, a couple of drier days, but not for long. The wet weather's back in by the middle part of next week. Further rain coming and going as we move through into next weekend too. And then as we head up towards day 10, things start getting a little bit colder. Still rain in the south, some snow appearing further north, and by day can will actually bring down wintry showers on those northwesterly to northerly winds before the next low sort of rolls in, bring further wet windy weather middle part of the month, and then we go back to something a little bit colder and more wintry once again. Now, there is wintry potential there, particularly so for more northern areas. This is how GFS 6 there is looking. And again, we bring low pressure in through the middle part of next week, plenty of wind and rain to come there. Heading up towards day 10, actually the GFS 6 there turns even colder. So we send a jet stream a little bit further south with the GFS 6 there next weekend. And this little area of low pressure just here, it's like a kink in the isobars there at 6 AM on Sunday next week. That sort of runs in along the jet stream. And that's the kind of thing that could deliver some snow to more southern areas, actually. Though the air mass is not particularly cold, because of outloads on a southerly track on the northern side of that, could deliver a little bit of snow. That's going to mean it could bring snow to like Wales, Midlands, that sort of area. And then below by day 10, which is the 10th of January, finishes up tour over the Low Countries, bringing in a north-northeast wind. And that might even bring some snow into more southern, southeastern parts of the country. Can you believe what a turn up of the books that is? Any colder into doesn't last very long. With GFS 6, then we go back into milder west-southwest winds again before high pressure finishes up over the country by 16th of January. Remember, at this point, GFS 6 is only producing a sudden stratospheric warming, but it won't be having any effect on the weather for us at that point. There is a time delay between getting SSW and having an effect on the weather. This is a precipitation forecast based on that GFS 6 run from the Weather Outlook. Again, there could be some snow tonight and tomorrow across the parts of Scotland. There was a snow event doing there, especially over elevation, but not exclusively so. Into the part of next week, turns a little bit drier for a while, and then the rain's back in again through the middle part of the week. Towards the end of next week, again, snow risk, particularly in the north, more towards rain further south. And then by the weekend, the 7th and the 8th of January, we've got more snow in the northern half of the country, wet weather further southwards. What happens with that little area of low pressure running across the south? Here it comes through Monday, so heavy rain in the south, a little bit of snow there on the northern edge for more northern areas, and then as the wind goes into the northeast, that brings some snow in from the east actually to more central and eastern parts of the country by the end of Monday, 9th of January. Remember, it's all very speculative, it's a long way, I'll probably won't verify, but just the idea that it's going more towards the second week of January, things might start to turn a little bit more wintry if the jet stream and the areas of low pressure dig far enough southwards. If you enjoy the video, then please you like, share, subscribe. Thank you so much everybody for doing that. Why not drop a comment and let us know what you think about this and all of our videos. And we thank you so very much everybody for doing that. We're nearly at the end of the final video of 2022. What a year it's been. I'll have more to say about that at the end of the vid. Right, GM, again, flattening off that ridge on Tuesday, bringing low pressure in from the Atlantic, wet and windy, mild through the middle part of next week. Low pressure keeps coming into next weekend, and it starts to turn cold with the GFS, with the GM, I should say. Winds go into more of a northwesterly direction as low pressure transfers in towards southern Scandinavia. So by day 10, we're pulling down some colder air from the northwest. And then finally for the charts, the ECM WF again, flattening off that ridge on Tuesday, wet, windy, and mild through the middle part of the week, and then we're into increasingly unsettled and colder weather through days 8, 9 and 10, with low pressure coming in from off the Atlantic and cold air trying to dig in from the north. Not as much of a northwesterly to northerly with the ECM up to day 10, but of course this low is going to run in along the jet stream. As that clears, it will probably turn the wind into the north. The cold air is already getting in to Scotland by day 10. Notice heights are rising a little bit up towards Scandinavia as well. This is the precipitation forecast. Excuse me, everybody. There we go again. This is the precipitation forecast based on that ECM run from Tometeo.com. So snow in the north over New Year, rain further south. Next week we've got a bit of a battering to come, a bit of a deluge, plenty of bouts of rain coming and going. All the way up day 10. Always cold enough for some snow across the northern half of the country. Cold rain further south as always. Maybe a little bit of wintry potential with bee showers around the 8th of January, but a little bit burst out towards Wales and the Midlands. And then by day 10, the next area of rain coming in from off. And it's going to be quite cold to the north about wet weather, so maybe if we could go on another 24 hours, that might bring some snow on the northern edge of that rain. We'll have to wait and see closer to the time. These are the options on the table within the ECM ensembles today. 4-day 10 for the Icelandic Met Office. It gets us to the 10th of January. 12 members of the ECM ensembles have low pressure over sides to the east of the country, trying to pull something a bit colder in from the northwest, especially to the northern half of the country. That does include the control and the operational run. 10 with low pressure over the country, just rather mild, wet and windy with that one. 9 again with low pressure to the north, very wet, windy and rather mild with that one. 8 with low pressure again to the north, bringing in a wind from west, looking mild, wet, wind with that one. 7 with low pressure, more or less over the coast. That's a bit cold, and actually digging a little bit further southwards with that one. And then 5 with low pressure, more towards our south and east actually. High pressure up towards Greenland and Iceland. That's probably bringing colder air in, especially to more northern parts of the country. In 2 weeks' time, these are the options that we've got. It will get us to the 15th of January. 17 members of the ECM ensemble centre low pressure over Scandinavia, but back it towards Scotland. It's going to be unsettled and quite cold. We've got 13 with high pressure reaching through the country, mostly dry, but could be a little bit of a gruesome twosome. Frost and fog. We've got 8 with high pressure sort of reaching through the Atlantic up towards Greenland, low pressure to our south and east. That's going to be cold, bringing winds from a northeasterly direction. We've got 7 with a trough hanging around the country, but with a mid-Atlantic ridge probably quite cold within that trough. And then we've got 6 here with high pressure centred over Scandinavia, and winds will be going into the east. Obviously that would bring cold air in from the east. It looks like ECM ensembles are probably trending colder towards the middle part of January. Remember, that would be before any sort of impacts from any possible sudden stratospheric warming. Finally, CFSV2, these are 500 millibar height anomalies breaking down into week periods. The first week period takes us from today, New Year's Eve, to 6th of January. So the coming week will have low pressure to the north and northwest, high pressure to the south, southeast, and winds will be coming up from a mild or very mild southwesterly direction. Week 2, let's change the colour, is going to be the 7th to the 13th of January. High pressure more or less centering over the country. Going to still be mostly dry, but could produce a little bit of frost and fog with that. Week 3 is going to be the 14th to the 20th of January. The high pressure goes north to reside somewhere between Iceland and Scotland. That will turn the wind into a colder east or northeasterly. So turning colder through the middle part of January. And then week 4 is the 21st, 27th of January, high pressure, moving more towards Greenland and Iceland. And that will probably bring the wind in from a northerly direction. And I see no particular reason why that one shouldn't be cold either. The temperature anomaly for week 1 is milder than average as we go into the new year, and week 2 is also looking mild as well from the 7th to 13th of January. No, there could be a little bit of frost and fog in with that. Week 3 goes colder. Look at this. It's the 14th to 20th of January, colder than average, especially so for England and Wales. Most parts of the continent looking quite cold as well. And then week 4 goes milder, very unsure about that. I reckon week 4 could also have some cold potential with winds going from like easterlies to northerlies. But of course, as it's 4 weeks away, then it's not really worth worrying about. Right, we've done with our final video of the year. If you enjoyed this video, please can you like, share and subscribe. Thank you so much for doing that. And why not drop a comment and let us know what you think about this and all of our videos. And we thank you so much, everyone, for doing that. We're at the end now of the content for 2022. What a year it's been. Goodness gracious me. I started this year on a very, very, very bad note, as you are all aware and will remember. So Mrs. P this time last year was very, very ill, although we did not know the extent of her illness and that, it wasn't going to be survivable long term. She was very poorly this time last year, and she just got worse, as the weeks went on into the new year, until unfortunately we lost her on the 27th of May, as I'm sure you'll remember. I lost my mum. We lost the lovely Mrs. P. And it was a huge blow, and I'm still sort of trying to recover from it, to be honest. I haven't fully got over the grief and loss, and maybe I never will. I think it'll probably just be something that I'll learn to live with in the end, as you have to when you lose somebody, of course. And also at the same time, I was having treatment for mouth cancer as well. While that was going on with my mum, I was also having treatment for stage 2 mouth cancer, and so it was an absolutely terrible first half to 2022 in particular. And you carried me through. For a while, I had to shut down the channel, as I'm sure you will remember. I had to close things down, just stop everything, and go off and have me treatment to look after my mum. And you stuck with me. You was waiting for me to come back, and I always said, although I was shutting the channel down effectively, I did say that I was going to get it all back. And I think we did. We got pretty much everything back. We are now doing everything that we did before. Long range live streams 3 times a week. Everything came back, and I'm quite proud about that. I'm quite proud, but after everything that happened, I was able to get it all back, and it was because of you, that got me through this. It's you that's got me through this year. It's GavsWeatherVids community and the love and the support, that you all sent out to me. That carried me through those dark sort of days and particularly nights through the earlier part of the year. And I want to thank you all so incredibly much, for the support and the love that you gave to me, and also the rest of the family, through all of the disasters and trials and tribulations that went on through the early part of the year. We reached 15,000 subscribers just a couple of weeks ago, so that was another big milestone. I can tell you we've also reached 10 million video views over Christmas. I wasn't aware it was that close to it, but I've had a notification from YouTube to tell me that we have now passed 10 million video views for the GavsWeatherVids YouTube channel. That's every single video views, every single video from the beginning in March 2014 to present. And it's a phenomenal number. When I started this channel in March 2014, I never in my wildest dreams thought that we would reach like 15,000 subscribers and 10 million video views. And again, that's happened because of the way that you have embraced the content and, supported what we're trying to do here at GavsWeatherVids with our videos and our live streams. You've been telling your friends, you've been telling your family, you've been telling your neighbours, your doctors, your vicars, your mother-in-laws, maybe, to subscribe. And it's been an incredible journey, but we're not done yet. So we're going to be back next year, which is going to be in live, I don't know, sort of 10 hours time or something. We're going to be back in 2023, and live streaming, videos. Spring updates are going to be starting as well next Sunday, 8th of January. And of course, with so much to keep an eye on with the stratosphere, with this potential stratospheric warming, and maybe the chance of some colder weather later on in January and possibly into February. We've got some interesting videos and some interesting live streams and some interesting times to come, I think. Thank you so much, everybody, for everything that you've done for me, the support, the love that you've given to me this year. Over all of the years, but particularly this year, to carry me through this bad year. And I think 2023 is going to be better, not just for me, but for all of us, because I know everybody is having a bad year, or has had a bad year this year. So I think 2023 is going to be a much better year. Let's keep our fingers crossed. Thank you so much, everybody. You enjoy the rest of your New Year's Eve. Don't forget to check out Harry's GoFundMe page. If you could do that, that would be absolutely lovely. And as I say, have a fantastic New Year. Stay safe tonight. You know, don't overindulge in the magic water. Just have one or two. I will be, I suspect, but don't have too much. And I shall see you tomorrow for our New Year's Day roundup. For this final video of 2022, this terrible year's about over. For this final video of 2022, that's all for now. And thanks for watching. See you next year.